times have you been pregnant?
Well, actually, I am in that category of people who don't think men can get pregnant.
Well, I wish you had a uterus.
I was in a uterus.
Yeah, but you didn't have to have one.
Do you rely on stupid arguments because you don't have an argument?
This dismissive way that she tries to approach this argument tells everybody paying attention that she doesn't really have an argument as to why she supports abortion, but she thinks she should just tell men they don't get to have an opinion, even though women can't get pregnant without a man. And she doesn't mind the man who's supporting abortion fighting for it. She only minds the man who's fighting against it.
I believe in human rights. You believe in uterus rights. It's very strange.
This is a baby at 21 weeks, okay? The baby can feel pain, right?
Yes.
And the baby's pretty developed, right?
Yes.
You see the hand here grasping the doctor's finger as they're about to operate in the womb at 21 weeks. Here's a better picture. As you can see the arm coming out of the womb.
If you can look at that arm sticking out of the womb, grasping onto the doctor's hand, and tell the rest of us with a straight face that that's just a clump of cells, then you're just an NPC regurgitating trash that you've heard on TV. You're not a real life person trying to have a real life conversation. You've been programmed to say stupid things from the media.
Is little Samuel's hand the hand of a person, or is it the hand of a piece of property? And here's what Barbara Boxer said. I am not a doctor and I am not God. I trust other human beings to make these decisions. Now question, do you have to be a doctor or do you have to be God to know that that's a human being?
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is?
This conversation has become way too political. And to pretend as though you have to be a doctor to be able to tell us that that's a human being just shows how politically divisive this conversation is. And just shows how Democrat politicians refuse to say the truth out loud because they're worried they'll lose votes. But it shouldn't take a doctor to figure out that that's a human life. Science has proven that human life starts at the second of conception, the instant that the egg is fertilized by the sperm. It becomes a brand new DNA strand that never existed before and will never exist again if we abort it.
And first, the doctor would dilate the cervix.
Once the cervix has been stretched open, the suction tube is placed inside. The suction machine is turned on, and pale yellow amniotic fluid surrounding the baby is suctioned out through the catheters. The baby's bones and skull are too strong to be torn apart by suction alone.
And then the doctor would take what's called the doctor would call it a Sofer clamp. It's really a pair of pliers with sharp teeth on the end.
The abortionist uses this clamp to grasp an arm or leg. Once he has a firm grip, the abortionist pulls hard in order to tear the limb from the baby's body.
Without giving the baby pain medication.
One by one, the rest of the limbs are removed, along with the intestines, the spine, and the heart and lungs.
At one time in my life, I had no clue that this is what was happening. I was caught up in the whole women have rights and their body, their choice. And I wouldn't say I was a pro-choicer. I've always believed that we should have a cutoff, that we should say after this point, we shouldn't allow abortions because this. And I didn't even know that it was this bad. I was ignorant to the whole thing. I'm not afraid to admit that now, that I was caught up in the political debate and I didn't feel like it was my place to tell women what they should do. But after having learned the realities of what's really happening in abortion, I've changed the way I view this. I'm no longer ignorant to how this procedure gets done. That's disgusting. And that is murder. And the baby isn't dead. It's alive, and it can feel pain, and the doctor's tearing the baby apart. And I had no clue that that was what was going on. But now that I do, I'm completely against abortion.
So then the doctor would go in and use those pliers to crush the baby's head. Is that right?
Which is about the size of a large plum at 20 weeks. The head is grasped and crushed. The abortionist knows he has crushed the skull when a white substance comes out of the cervix. This was the baby's brains. The abortionist then removes skull pieces. Once all the parts have been accounted for, the abortion is complete.
That is so unbelievably horrible that there's no way you can know that that's what happens and still support it. And if you do, I'm just going to say it. You're a horrible person. Because you have no compassion for human life, and you shouldn't sit here and pretend like you care about the woman's life either.
I thought we were here about protecting mothers and killing babies.
You're not going to change anybody's opinion online.
Oh, I do all the time.
I'm going to personally thank Russell for doing what he does, because he takes a lot of heat from people like this man and that woman in the beginning of this, pretending as though he doesn't get to have an opinion. Because as he said, he changes people's minds. There are plenty of comments in the videos from Abolition Rising that state the fact that he has changed people's opinions. He changed my opinion. Thanks for watching. But before you go, hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us on Telegram. Follow us on Rumble. And follow us on X.
Check you later.